Good morning. Good morning. Let us settle in, as we are, with the creaks in the chairs and the whispering thoughts, and whatever noises the city wishes to donate to us today. This is a very strange work, I admit it. And at the same time, it is the most practical thing you will ever test, if you will test it. Not because of me, not because of a book or a church bulletin, but because, when you try it, something within you answers for itself. Now, I wonder, have you noticed how we search for God the way we search for our keys? We pat our pockets, check the table, look under a cushion, and when the keys aren't there, we widen the circle. Another room, another gadget, another workshop, a better arrangement of circumstances. We even buy a new key ring with a bell on it, as if the bell will announce reality. That is our modern habit. Out there, over there, in the reform of appearances. A new diet, a new affirmation, a shinier meditation cushion with lumbar support. Surely the Holy One will be impressed. I'm wondering who I'm kidding when I do that. The promise today is not a promise of a new and improved outer answer. Oh, not at all. Not at all. The promise is simpler and, if you let it be, more radical. The search ends the moment prayer stops reaching outward and begins recognizing presence within. The moment attention makes that slight, secret turn, away from the picture and into what is here already, the restless seeker sits down. It is like discovering that the keys were never lost, only buried under yesterday's newspaper. And you laugh, because it was so near you all along. Now, before you get nervous, this is not anti-religion, not anti-church, not anti-help. Oh, not at all, not at all. We are not against anything. We are simply going to redefine prayer. Instead of petition, fix this, supply that, protect me from them, we will learn prayer as realization. Here, now, God is. You'll see how very practical that becomes in a traffic jam, in a doctor's office, in a kitchen at 6 p.m. with the pots rattling and the telephones singing. You need a sense of humor for this work, because the ego likes to dramatize itself. And I don't recommend fighting drama with more drama. So let us agree on our expectation. During our time together, you will be given exact wording. A single, simple line you can carry into the grocery store or into the silence of 3 in the morning. And we will even have a demonstration, a way of waiting until you feel a small click, an actual awareness of God's presence. But please hear me. The wording is not the magic. The click is the point. The presence is the point. One phrase you will hear, and we will return to it again and again, is, "Seek me only." When you understand what that means inwardly, the search, which never ends by going out, comes to its quiet end by coming home. And from there, right effects will unfold of their own accord. Let us begin. Now, if we are honest, most of what the world calls prayer is bargaining with the wind. God, if you will fix this, then I will believe. If you will supply that, then I will be faithful. If you will rescue me from them, then I will be good. You know the tune. I have hummed it myself. But let us look at what is hidden in that hymn. It says, God is over there. I am over here. The problem is out there, and the solution will come later, if I do this correctly. And, please notice, later never quite arrives. The seeker lives on rain checks. Now, when I point this out, do not hear condemnation. Oh, not at all, not at all. If you are in trouble, ask. If the child cries out, let the cry be heard. Grace meets us at every level we are capable of receiving. But as a method of God realization, petitionary prayer keeps us at the threshold. It keeps us outside the door because our attention is fastened on the picture, the condition, the person, the bank account, the diagnosis, and the me that wants to manage it. The seeker remains beautifully intact, polishing the very mask that hides the face. What is it we are staring at when we pray that way? Thought. And by thought, I mean the entire sea of it. Everything seen, heard, tasted, touched, smelled. The news at 6, the headline that rattles you, the memory of last winter's fear, the imagination of next month's bill, the sound of the doctor's words replayed at 3 in the morning, the photograph, the argument, the dream, the triumphant story, the humiliating one. All of it is thought. We stand on the shore, shaking our fists at waves, and then we kneel and shake our fists more politely. It is still at the waves. We are drowning while we pray. Do you catch the bargain beneath it? If I get the thing, I'll believe. Think how sly that is. It postpones God to an event. As soon as this happens, then presence will be real. And so the search continues by design, because its very fuel is a future. We make God the effect of a condition, as if the infinite requires my circumstances to behave before it will be itself. Who am I kidding? Am I trying to inform God of facts, influence God's mood, upgrade God's timetable with my outline? No, no. Let us laugh, and let us be done with that. Prayer is not a transaction. Prayer is a turn in consciousness. It is the moment we stop trying to steer with mentation and rise above the sea of thought into awareness itself. That rising is not noisy. It is not clever. It is not a push. It is a yielding. It is a quiet yes to what already is. God here. Presence now. And in that altitude, call it an inch above the waves, call it the click. Attention leaves the picture and rests in the one behind all pictures. Then, without our bargaining, without our managing, effects take their rightful places. So the great misunderstanding is simple. As long as prayer is aimed at changing appearances, attention stays outside, and the seeker survives to seek another day. Let us not feed that habit. Let us instead begin to practice a different direction, the one prayer that turns us within. We will have the exact wording, but first, take this to heart. Never postpone God to a future result. Return and return again until awareness changes. In that change, the door you stood before is discovered to be your own being, and the outside is no more. What is the change in awareness we are speaking of? Not an idea about God, not a warmed-over thought or an improved affirmation, but an actual awareness, quiet, subtle, undeniable. A feeling, a click, an assurance that requires no argument because it is self-evident when it comes. It is as unpretentious as a hand on your shoulder in a dark room. There, and you know. Not noisy, not spectacular, no symbols. Sometimes it is so gentle you might be tempted to dismiss it. Don't. That is the very way the presence announces itself, unafraid of being missed because it can return and return until you learn its tone. Now let us be clear why thinking cannot manufacture this. Thinking rearranges images. It polishes the same mirror. It swaps one picture for a nicer one. It argues, it rehearses, it explains. but it does not introduce you to the one behind the pictures. Thought is the sea, every wave of it. Memory, fear, hope, the to-do list, the sermon you are composing for your cousin, the clever reason you should be excused from silence today. Presence is not a better wave. Presence is the sky in which seas appear and disappear. And so the task, if we may call it that, is not to improve the sea, not to command it to behave, but to rise above the sea of thought into the altitude where sky is felt as your very being. Altitude is freedom, whether the sea is calm or stormy. That is important. If you wait for a quiet mind to have God, you will wait through many weather reports. No, no. Let the waves be waves. We rise an inch. We rise a foot. We rise enough that the spray is no longer in our eyes. You will notice that sometimes the sea calms after the click, and sometimes it does not. And it will not matter because you are not steering by waves anymore. You are resting in what is prior to waves. And please, as you make this turn, expect your mind to present urgent cases. But this one needs attention now. But this is different. But they were wrong. The mind is a very good attorney. It keeps long hours and bills by the worry. Smile at it. Thank it for its diligence and refuse to be recruited. You need a sense of humor for this, because the mind will even attempt piety. Surely God wants me to think harder about God. Oh, not at all. Not at all. Thinking about God is a wave. Feeling God is the click. When the click is present, you will discover a practicality that will surprise you. Not magic, alignment. You will find that the telephone call you need to make is made without dread, that the words required for the difficult conversation come without rehearsal, that the next step in your work appears as naturally as a path appears when fog lifts. Supply looks less like a bag of coins dropped from heaven and more like being in the right place at the right moment with the right willingness. You did not force it. You did not hypnotize yourself into optimism. You rose to the altitude where the guidance was already established, and you caught it. Let us, then, commit ourselves to seeking the click, not an improved argument. We touch it, or we wait until it touches us. Either language will do. And when it comes, there is the small but holy shift, from steering to being carried, from analyzing to acknowledging, from managing to resting in what is. That shift is the answer beginning. That presence is the insurance policy. And as we learn its feel, we will not be so easily thrown by the next persuasive wave. We will know to lift, not to battle. We will know to listen, not to litigate. And from that altitude, life itself begins to organize around the one who is already here. Now let us use a picture so ordinary that it almost seems too simple. And yet it will do its work if you let it. Think of the sun. Do you ever stand in your living room and beg the sun for warmth? Do you compose a letter asking for a tan on page 2 and a little vitamin D by next Wednesday? No. No. If you want warmth, you bring yourself into the sunshine. And the moment you are in the sun, you discover how unseparate its gifts are. You didn't receive a package labeled warmth and a separate envelope marked light. You received sun. And with sun come its qualities. Automatically, certainly, whether or not you understand a single thing about photons. Now see how gently absurd our usual praying can be. We stand in the shade with a hat over our eyes and we pray for a tan. We close the blinds and we pray for light. We haul an umbrella indoors and we pray to dry off. And then, disappointed, we form a committee on how to convince the sun. Friends, the sun doesn't need convincing. We need only to step into it. In precisely the same way, peace, guidance, healing, supply. These are not articles that God ships out in discreet parcels to worthy addresses. They are qualities of realized presence. When presence is felt, peace is found in it, not apart from it. Guidance is recognized as the movement of that very presence. Healing and supply are not events you manage. They are evidences that you have come into the light that is always shining. Please notice the new logic. It is not, pray up a condition and then believe. It is, come into God awareness and the qualities of God announce themselves. Even a degree of awareness, even a turn of the heart an inch toward the inner sun, and something begins. A softening, a clarity, a next right step appearing without your whip at its back. You are not made passive by this. Oh, not at all. Not at all. You are made sane. Action follows contact, the way warmth follows sunlight, without strain, without that personal engine rattling itself to pieces. One phone call is made because it is obvious. One apology is offered because the heat of pride can't live here. One ledger is balanced because you are no longer hypnotized by postponement. It is practical. It is ordinary. It is presence being itself, and you not arguing. And do not worry that by looking to the source first, you will neglect real life, as if sunshine makes a person forget their shoes. It does not. It enables you to see where you are walking. To rise above the sea of thought is not to float off into clouds. It is to discover ground you could not see from wave level. Then the doing is done from a different center. You are not pushing for effects. You are abiding in cause. Seek me only is simply the reminder. Step into the sun. Bring your attention home. Let the shades be opened inside. In that light, the prayed-for results are discovered as included, and the search for them, like chasing a shadow that vanishes in noon, comes quietly to its end. Now let us take a very homely object, so ordinary that it can carry a great secret without frightening anyone. Imagine I am holding a tumbler here. You have one at home in your cupboard, milk in it last night, orange juice this morning. Look at it with me in your mind. Where does the inside of this glass leave off and the outside begin? Are there two glasses, one for the inside and one for the outside? Or is there a single something we call glass that, in function, presents an inside and, in function, presents an outside? Answer it honestly. If we run our finger around the rim, do we discover a border where inside stops and outside starts? Or do we find that any inside and any outside are only names we give to the uses we make of one thing? There is but glass. Now take that simple recognition and let it do its work. We have spoken of God and man, of presence and person, as if there were two substances. God over here, holy, invisible, majestic, and you over there, visible, needy, sometimes heroic, sometimes awful. But I ask you, where does God leave off and you begin? Is there an inside God and an outside you? Are there two beings? Or is there one life, which in function is invisible essence, the very substance itself, and in function is visible form? The cup raised at breakfast, the hand extended in apology, the feet walking down a sidewalk. We are two in function, one in being. God is our invisible selfhood. We are the externalized form of that same one being. There is but God. Now please do not be shocked into an opposite ditch. This is not the ego crowning itself and saying, "Behold, I am God, let me run the universe." Oh, not at all, not at all. The personal I that wants a medal is precisely the costume that hides the face. And neither is this a denial of our human functionality, as if we were to sit in a chair and let our bodies go to seed because it is all God. No, no. Two in function means the glass still holds water and is washed after supper. It means bills are paid, children are kissed, streets are crossed with both eyes open. But the doer is known. The life is won. Why does this end the hunt? Because if God is the substance of your being, you cannot go out to get God as if God were an object stored in someone else's closet. You can only awaken to what is already your life. The search fails not because God is stingy, but because the very premise, "I over here will go find God over there," is like a wave setting out to find the ocean. The wave discovers ocean by being what it is. And now, hear how gently your prayer changes. It is no longer, "Give me God," as if God were a coin to be handed across a counter. It becomes, "Reveal what already is. Let me know you here." Seek me only is that single turn, away from the picture of separation into the fact of oneness. Not pushing, not reaching out into distances, turning within to the invisible self and resting there until the felt click announces what the mind cannot prove. There is no seam where God ends and you begin. There is but glass. There is but God being itself as you. And from that realization, effects take care of their proper places, because the cause, which is oneness, is no longer argued. Let us live from that, and the very word seek will grow quiet. Now we come to the one prayer, and I want you to have it so plainly that you can carry it in your pocket without a crease. Seek me only. Seek me only. That is the whole of it. If the old language soothes you, let it be. Thy presence only. Thy presence only. Not as poetry, not as ornament, as direction, as a single turn of the heart away from pictures and toward the one that is here. How do we use it? Gently, slowly, with no bargaining hidden in the sleeve. We do not say it to get something. Oh, not at all. Not at all. We say it to refuse the parade of outlines the mind wants to march down the street. We say it to lay down the blueprint, the clock, the list of conditions. We say it to step out of the shade and into the sun. When a picture insists, "This must happen by Tuesday in precisely this way," we do not argue with the picture. We turn. Seek me only, thy presence only. It is refusal without strain, a graceful "no thank you" to hypnosis. And let me be very clear about the kind of seeking we are not doing. It doesn't mean seeking sensations. No tingles are required. It doesn't mean seeking visions. We are not auditioning angels or ordering fireworks. It doesn't mean seeking virtue points, as if God ran a punch card, and after 10 seek me onlys, your latte of supply arrives. No, no. We are not coaxing a reward. We are turning attention homeward. Presence is the point. Pace it. Slow it. Let the words be few and honest. Seek me only, and let it fall. Thy presence only, and let it settle. Again and then again, until the words are no longer words, but a direction. Until you notice that something in you is facing differently. If the mind rushes to shape the prayer into a tool, if I say it 5 times, that interview will go well. Smile at the accountant and lay down the ledger. Seek me only. The prayer is not a lever. It is a letting. You will know it is working by a very modest sign. The problem loosens. It is still there on the desk, perhaps, but it no longer glows like neon in your chest. It becomes secondary, less solid, less hypnotic. There is a small inward gathering, like a boat turning slowly into harbor. Attention is no longer supervised by the picture. It is being drawn, not pushed, toward presence. Sometimes you will feel the click at once. Sometimes it will be a drift, and then, oh, there you are. Do not grade it. Do not measure it. Rest in the turn. Use it standing at the sink. Use it on a sidewalk. Use it in the doctor's office. Use it at 3 in the morning when the house is full of phantoms. Seek me only. Thy presence only. Every time the mind offers an outline, you do not scold it. You simply change masters. Presence is cause. Pictures are effects. Keep turning until the words are spent and the turning remains. Then be still a moment in that, for that stillness is the prayer fulfilled, and from there, what needs to be done will be done without your whip. All right, let us have a little proving ground together. Take one thing. Do not take the whole world, just one present concern. Health, money, relationship, a decision that keeps walking around your bed at night, whichever one is volunteering the loudest. And for a few minutes, let us agree not to solve it mentally. No committees, no speeches, no drafting of emergency legislation. For these minutes, we will not improve the picture. We will turn from it. First, acknowledge the swirl. Do not pretend it isn't moving. Let the thoughts come as they wish to come. The ifs, the whys, the terrible timelines, the angry sentences you have rehearsed for your cousin, the calculations, the calendar, the trembling. This is the sea of thought, and it is very good at looking like reality. Name it gently. Thought, thought, picture, memory. We are not fighting it. We are simply refusing to swear it in as judge and jury. Second, release the need to outline. Whatever blueprint you were unrolling on the kitchen table, by Tuesday, from this person, in that amount, fold it up now and put it in the drawer. We are not throwing away wisdom. Oh, not at all. Not at all. We are setting down the whip. No commanding of waves. No bargains with the wind. Just the simple courage to stop steering for a minute. Third, take the one prayer and let it turn you.
Seek me only, seek me only, thy presence only, thy presence only.
Not fast. Not as if speed would squeeze God out of hiding. Let each saying be a facing, like turning a chair to the window. If the mind says, yes, but, that's fine. Smile at the attorney and return to the bench.
Seek me only, thy presence only.
We are not chanting for effect. We are changing masters. Fourth, listen. Do not listen for words. Do not listen for fireworks. Listen the way you listen for a friend's breathing in the dark. Quiet, unforced. If the body fidgets, let it fidget. If a garbage truck roars by, let it have its moment of importance. We are not manufacturing silence. We are consenting to it. This is not willpower. It is willingness. It is the willingness to stop pushing the river and to feel the river carry. Now, common milestones. At first, a restlessness may appear, as if someone inside does not trust chairs. Good. Stay seated inwardly. Then a gap, just a breath-wide space where the picture blinks and your grip loosens. Then a softening, like ice remembering water. Then, sometimes faint as a moth, sometimes immediate as sun, there is a quiet certainty. It may feel like peace. It may feel like humility, as if the costume has slipped off your shoulders. It may be warmth in the chest, or tears without a headline, or only the phrase, "all is well," arriving with no argument to back it up. That is contact. That is the click. If nothing is felt today, we do not force. We do not rate ourselves. We return tomorrow, and at the sink, and on the sidewalk, and at 3 a.m. The practice is not a performance. It is the end of performing. Each time we turn, a little more of the picture loses its hypnotic glow, and attention finds itself at home. This is how to know you have prayed aright. Attention has shifted from the picture to presence. Do not at once run back to the thermometer of results. Do not test the seed the second it is planted. Rest in the click. In that resting, the answer has begun, because cause is being acknowledged, and the effect will take its place without your outline. Let us be still a few minutes more, and let the one who is here announce itself in its own language. Seek me only, and be very quiet now. Let me introduce you to a word that has saved me many a serious headache. It has a funny sound, and that's on purpose, because a sense of humor is a spiritual instrument. The word is blah. Roll it around in your mouth. Blah. A blah is anything to which we attach undue importance. Anything we worship, fear, or chase as if our very life depended on it. The moment a form moves from rightful use to identity saver, there we have a blah. In the old days, it was land and titles and the biggest horse. Today, it's approval metrics, the number that dances on a tiny screen. It's money panic, a finger refreshing a banking app as if God were hiding behind the balance. It's spiritual achievement. How many days on the meditation streak? How impressively humble we appear when we say, "I had no part in it," and wait to be contradicted. It is being right at the dinner table, being seen in the right room. Even perfect peace can be a shiny trophy we place on the mantle. Imagine it, chasing a trophy called peace. That is a blah wearing a halo. Now, why do I speak of bibbles in the middle of prayer? Because wanting results too much blocks the channel. The channel is presence. The blockage is I want, I need, I must have. The moment a form moves from being a function to being my oxygen, attention bolts from the inner sun to the shadow it throws, and we are back to begging for tans with the blinds drawn. We are hypnotized by pictures, and then we petition pictures to calm us. No. No. The paradox is, the way to have rightful use of life's forms is to give up the compulsive desire for them. Not to throw away money or art or science or a fine pair of shoes. Oh, not at all. Not at all. But to release the belief that they confer life, safety, worth. When desire loosens, we stop being slaves to our gear and become masters of our fate by resting in cause. So here is a tiny practice that bites through hypnosis. When you notice obsession arise, that quickening in the chest when someone praises you or ignores you, that heat in the face to prove your point, that compulsion to check the number again, whisper, Abel. Just like that, softly. Abel. You are not scolding yourself. You are naming a trinket. The naming robs it of size. Then turn, immediately and tenderly. Seek me only, thy presence only. Do not use the turn to get the babble. We are not bargaining. We are changing masters. You will find the one prayer is the best Bible detector in the world. The instant you say, "Seek me only," the mind will parade its Bibles across the stage to audition. Yes, but what about the rays? Yes, but I need them to apologize. Yes, but if I could only feel peace like last Tuesday. Good. Let them audition. Nod to each. A Bible, a Bible, a Bible, and refuse the role. Return to the click. In that click, the false center, the personal I clutching its toys, begins to dissolve, and the forms take their right places. Money becomes a tool, not a god. Approval becomes a pleasant weather, not a climate control system. Even peace stops being a medal you pin on your chest and is recognized as the atmosphere of presence itself. Release the bubble. Seek presence. And the form finds its proper seat in the room without enslaving you. Then action is sane. Then supply is ordinary. Then conversations can be kind without you needing to win them. And you will laugh because the very bubbles for which we once fought and fretted begin to show up as needed when they are no longer needed to be me. Seek me only. Keep it that simple, and watch how much lighter the pockets feel when the stones have been put down. Now here is the radical point, and let us take it gently so no one faints in the aisle. The seeker is the obstacle. Not wicked, just mistaken. The seeker presumes separation and lack. I over here without, God over there with. And so the very engine of the search is fueled by the belief that God is elsewhere, by the belief that there is a me who must acquire divinity as if it were an imported good. You see the comedy? The little I goes on pilgrimage to meet the self it already is. Who am I kidding? I carry a lantern at noon and complain about the dark. Scripture says, "Deny thyself." And again, I live, yet not I. Christ liveth my life. What does that mean? Not self-hatred. Oh, not at all. Not at all. Not shame. Not running down your lovely human faculties or refusing to wash your dishes. It means denying the little I as cause, doer, owner, and acknowledging the one life as the animating presence of all that appears as you. It means that when the hand is lifted, we do not enthrone the hand. We recognize the life that lifts. When wisdom appears, we do not pinch a medal onto the lapel of me. We bow inwardly to the source from which it flowed unlabored. Now, let us do one of our negation sequences so the hypnosis can drain. There is no my supply. There is supply, the one life expressing as forms meeting forms. There is no my health. There is health, the wholeness of presence recognizing itself where I stand. There is no my wisdom. There is wisdom, the intelligence of being showing up as the right thought, the right word, the right silence. There is no my peace, my client, my ministry, my serenity, my enlightenment. There is peace. There is activity. There is love. There is light. We are not lessened by this. We are liberated. We have none of ourselves, but we have none less than God. A simple practice, and you will need a sense of humor for it. For a day, better for 7, Catch the unnecessary I, me, mine. Do not be a policeman. Be a friend with a bell. When you hear my idea, my plan, my success, my failure, just touch the bell and smile. Then revise softly. Thank you. Or presence is moving here. Or say nothing at all and feel the click. You will discover how often the parrot of ego shrieks, mine, mine, at crumbs. Let it tire itself. You are changing authorship, not vocabulary. Here is where prayer does the kindest work. Seek me only is the easiest way to let the false I relax into invisibility. When you turn, the little manager, clipboard in hand, fades like a foreman at quitting time. Presence does not need your personal management. It needs your consent. The sign that you have prayed aright is not that you feel bigger. It is that you feel quieter, less central, more carried. The click is humility with a heartbeat. And now the promise. Seeking ends when the personal I stops trying to possess God and quietly yields to God as its very being. Then action is natural. Words are fewer. Help arrives without your whistle. And the day is lived from cause. Where God is, I am, because there is no seam. There is but glass. There is but God being God as you. Seek me only, and let the lantern rest. The sun is already up. Now, a very natural fear comes up. If I stop seeking, if I stop pushing on results, won't I turn useless, passive, indifferent? Oh, not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, you will likely be more useful in an afternoon than you used to be in a week. But the flavor changes. You will still take out the garbage, probably on the right day this time. You will still return the call, send the invoice, fold the shirts. But you will not be dragging a small, invisible sled of anxiety behind you. You act, but you are not burdened. You plan, but you are not outlining the universe. You work, but you are not wrestling reality as if it were an enemy to be pinned. What shifts? The center from which you move. When attention rests in presence, when the click is acknowledged, you find that the hull of your little boat stops scraping every rock. There is a wind. You trim the sail. You are not passive. You are guided. A plan becomes a pencil sketch that can be erased and redrawn at noon without a funeral. Deadlines stop being tyrants and become appointments. You discover a strange new ease, doing what is to be done without adding your private weather to the room. This is what I have meant by the insurance policy. The presence felt, however slightly, is the protection. Not a guarantee that clouds will never gather, not an immunity badge from phone calls and headlines. No, no, it is protection from hypnosis. It keeps you from being swallowed by appearances. Above the sea of thought, waves may still roll, but they are waves again, not verdicts. From that altitude, you see what is yours to do and what is not yours at all, and you do not confuse the two. Decisions begin to come in a new language. A quiet prompting, a release, a restraint. Sometimes it is a word not spoken. Oh, the tragedies avoided by a word not spoken. Sometimes it is a call made at an odd hour that turns out to be the only hour the person could hear you. Sometimes it is waiting 2 days without the old panic, and on the 3rd day the answer walks in by the front door and says, "Were you looking for me?" You will notice that the body doesn't clench to make this happen. The mind doesn't grind its gears. Guidance presents. You acknowledge. You move. You will also notice the form this takes when the answer is no. You do not push the pen across a contract that has no inward yes. You let the glittering Bible sit on the table, and you walk past it, and a month later you see the floor give way where you would have been standing. Or you speak the apology you did not plan to speak, because love rose and spoke for itself, and a relationship stops hemorrhaging pride. Right action, you see, is a fruit of presence. It is not driven, it is given, and then lived. And here is a grace hidden inside all this. As you live from oneness, your very consciousness blesses without effort. People breathe easier around you and don't know why. A clerk, tight and frowning, softens when you arrive, not because you performed kindness at them, but because you were not radiating lack. Children settle. Strangers tell you the one true thing they needed to say. Whatever you know in secret is shouted from the housetops, not in words, but as atmosphere. Your peace becomes contagious, the way sunlight is contagious to a room when the shade is lifted. Seek me only. Let the click be your compass, and you will find that life is done through you, sufficiently, sanely, and without the rattle of strain. Now, because presence does not stop at the skin, our practice cannot stop at the boundary of our own concerns. One of the first proofs that the click is real is that compassion widens and judgment thins out. The thrill is not in private fireworks, but in a heart that no longer needs to make villains in order to feel holy. We stop sorting the room into worthy and unworthy. We find ourselves gentler with the clerk, kinder with the slow driver, less eager to serve papers to our enemies, and more ready to let love govern without our gavel. Oh, not at all a passivity. This is freedom from the compulsion to fix people in our image. Now, about what has been called absent prayer. Do not think of it as sending thoughts, as if we were shipping spiritual parcels through the air marked, "Be improved by Friday." No, we are not attempting mental manipulation. Absent prayer is the refusal to accept an other outside of God. It is the calm resting in one presence, one life, and therefore one identity expressing in infinite form. If there is but glass, where is this outside person I must fix? God is our invisible selfhood. What we call a person is the externalized form. We bless not by pushing ideas at them, but by realizing God where they appear to be. How do we do it? Simply and without outline. Use the one prayer in their behalf. Seek me only. Reveal thyself as the life of, then stop. Put down the picture. We are not staring at their diagnosis, their habit, their story. We are not sketching their better behavior. We are not even holding a good thought. We are resting in presence as the only life. Quiet now. Let the attention turn until the click is felt, however slightly. Peace, softening, that sweet sense that the source is here. In that realization, the treatment is complete, because what is true of God is true where God is, and there is no seam in God. Be careful here of spiritual management, which is just another bubble dressed in church clothes. The urge to improve another to our timetable, oh, how pious it can look, how bossy it actually is. When you catch yourself aiming your spiritual flashlight at a forehead, now if only they would see it my way. Smile and say, a bubble, and turn again. Seek me only, thy presence only. We do not grade results. We do not peek under the seed. Sometimes there is a phone call and a voice says, I don't know why, but I feel lighter. Sometimes a quarrel goes oddly quiet. Sometimes nothing appears to change, and yet your heart will not bite the hook. Grace is doing the work. Let grace have its own methods. As this becomes natural, the search ends, not only for you. You become a transparency. Others breathe more easily in your atmosphere and do not know why. Whatever you know in secret is shouted from the housetops, not as advice, but as presence felt. This is universal love in practice, not pushing results, but resting in the one who is the only life, and letting that realization be the blessing. Seek me only. Reveal thyself as the life of all, and walk on, quietly, as love's untroubled witness. Let us be practical now, simple as shoes by the door. If presence is cause, then let us make presence our bookends. Never begin the day without inner contact. Never end the day without returning to it. That is the narrow funnel. It is not a law with punishment attached. It is sanity. Step out into the traffic of appearances with your insurance policy in your pocket. The felt assurance that God is on the field. Then put your head on the pillow with the same assurance renewed, the tools put away, the foreman dismissed for the night. In the morning, before the headlines, before the glowing rectangles begin to issue commandments, sit on the edge of the bed or stand at the sink, no altar required, and turn. Seek me only, thy presence only. Not for a show, not for achievement, but for contact. Wait, not long, just honest, until you feel the slightest inward softening, the little click, the breath that says, here. If 2 minutes are all the house grants, 2 minutes can be Eden when the turn is real. Measure nothing by the clock. Measure by whether attention rose, even a degree, above the sea of thought into that quiet preceding all thoughts. Between these bookends, carry one rule and keep it very light so it is usable in a grocery line. Whenever you notice seeking, outlining, or fear, stop and return. Stop mid-sentence inside if you must. Drop the blueprint. Drop the stopwatch. Drop the Bible auditioning for your worship, and turn. Seek me only, thy presence only. Stay with it just long enough to feel the helm of attention change hands. That shift is the answer beginning. Then go on with your errand, your email, your meeting, not as a manager of outcomes, but as one carried by cause. Now, about the days that race, the minds that chatter, the emotions that do wind sprints. Are these failures? Oh, not at all. Not at all. These are invitations. The louder the street sweeper outside your window, the sweeter your discovery that silence is not manufactured. It is consented to. Rise above the sea of thought again and again, even if you must step on a stool to do it. Humor helps here. Smile at the inner attorney presenting Exhibit A. Smile at the meteorologist forecasting doom at 3 p.m. and turn. Seek me only. A dozen brief turnings may do more than one strained hour with a stopwatch and a halo. And in the evening, release. Return to the same quiet you honored at dawn. Let the day empty out of you, the way the tide slips from the shore. Name nothing mine as you hand it back. Not the victories, not the stumbles, not the bibbles you accidentally polished. Thank you is enough. Seek me only. Let the presence that lived your day be acknowledged as the only life of it, and sleep inside that. Again, Do not grade yourself. A single honest sigh that settles you in God is the measure, not eloquence, nor minutes accrued. With these bookends and this one rule, seeking becomes unnecessary because you are not leaving home to hunt for it. You are living from it. Our words have pointed. Now the talk must end where it began, inside. Let us be still a few minutes and fulfill the prayer in silence. Seek me only, and rest until you know it within. Let us be still a few minutes. Lay down the tools now, the cleverness, the comparing, even the wish to understand me correctly. Understanding will not escort you over this threshold. Consent will. Let the shoulders drop a little. If a siren wails or a door slams in the hall, let it have its little parade and pass. We are not manufacturing silence. We are consenting to it. Quiet now. Notice the breath. Not as a project. Just notice the rise, the fall. If the mind tries to polish the breath or count it like coins, smile and let the counting dissolve into the simple tide, coming, going. Thoughts may float by. Errands, sentences, faces, bibbles with their shiny hooks. Let each be named softly, thought, and let it drift without ownership. Above the sea of thought we rest, not by climbing, but by not wrestling the water. Now, very gently, and not for results, let the prayer be heard inside. Seek me only. Seek me only. Let it be as quiet as a friend's name said in a room where you already love one another. Thy presence only. Thy presence only. No pressure on the words. Let them turn the chair toward the window, and then do not stare at the window. Simply sit. Simply face. If a sweetness rises, or a warmth, or a loosening in the chest, do not clutch at it. Do not say, "Ah, there it is. Hold it, hold it." Oh, not at all, not at all. Let it be itself. If nothing in particular is felt, do not grade this moment. Your availability is the prayer. Your refusal to manage is the prayer. Seek me only, and rest. We will sit together a few breaths more. Let the mantra taper into listening. No phrases now unless they come of themselves. Listen as if you were listening for the presence that is already in the room before any of us arrived. If a thought taps your shoulder, nod and return to the quiet. Seek me only. Now let the recognition seal itself, not as a slogan, but as simple truth realized. Where God is, I am. Not as a key to outcomes, not as a lever upon the world, but as acknowledgement that there is no seam in God and His appearing. There is but glass. One life, being itself, as this very awareness, here. When you rise, rise softly. No vows, no bargains. Carry one charge only. Pray for presence alone. Let that be your turning at the sink, at the crosswalk, in the meeting, on the pillow. Seek me only, until the click appears as naturally as breath appears. And then let life reorder itself around that axis, without your management. Go in quiet, go light. Where God is, I am, and all that needs doing will be shown in its hour. Let us be still one breath longer, and then we will simply live from this.